GFN Soccer TV, with all your favourite shows in one place, is now live in the UK with Samsung TV Plus.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Marty Show on a Wednesday night live on AFTV. Please check out all of AFTV's content, all the fan cams from the game last night where we bashed Slavia Prague 3-0 on their own turf. The guys were out there. Please check out Forever Arsenal. And also, if you haven't already, please check out the AFTV app. It has some fantastic applications on there, i.e. Team Selector, which is absolutely phenomenal. You can select your own team and you can submit it to AFTV Media and they will show it and they will get it all up and show it on their socials. It also has all your favourite podcasts and AFTV content on there in one place. So please let me introduce to you my absolutely fantastic co-host, the other half of the Marty Ella Show. She is the Brady to my Gronkowski, the Bergkamp to my Omri, like Mount Etna, the volcano of football knowledge, Ella Smetna.
Boom!
How are you?
Big intro. Good, thank you, Marty. How you been? Good week?
Yeah, I've been absolutely... no, do you know what? I'll be honest with you, it's been a challenging week. If I'm honest, it's been a great week with football. On a personal level, it's been challenging. I've had a few issues to deal with. I've moved into a fantastic new studio, which has been a bit of a it's been fun.
Everyone, prepare yourself. Marty's about to upgrade.
I have upgraded, but there has been a lot of work involved with this, and at the moment, it is probably about 30% of where it should be. So
it's gonna look so good when it's done.
Yeah, it will, and I'm still trying to get the lighting right. I'm still trying to get the everything, all the stuff in the background and all the technical equipment and stuff like that, which is not necessarily my forte, but we will definitely get there. And I am looking forward to making it a comfortable new place to host fantastic AFTV content from and others. So Ella, let's get straight into it. Oh, just a quick one as well. Big shout to Cecil. It was his 30th birthday at the weekend, and we were lucky enough to get invited out to this absolutely fantastic event that Cecil G laid on in true Cecil G style at Gilgamesh in London.
It was a lovely event.
What an event it was, wasn't it?
Good fun. We had a good night, didn't we? Good giggle.
Yeah, and there was me, you, Christian, and
it was
who
the whole
else?
Crew. It was like the whole crew.
No, that we dived off early, and I know Robbie was trying to make me stay out later, and I was like, mate, I've got a watch along to do. He's like, come on, stay out, have a few bit of beers. I was like, no, mate, I've got to be up early and in your studio. He was like, I've got to go to Burnley. But yeah, it was a great night, and I think we all dived out there about, was it 11, half 11, and yeah, everyone was there, so it was a really good night. Big up to Cecil for an absolutely fantastic event. There were some great people there, and in true Cecil G style, it was like, make sure you're there at 8 o'clock. And he rocks up at 9:30 with this absolutely fantastic entrance. It was like something out of a show. And he come in dancing all the tunes, and then obviously halfway through on the screen he had a projector screen with all his mates wishing him happy birthday. Just random mates, such as Will Smith, KSI, and
just your casual celebs.
Just average mates like that.
Average Joes.
Yeah, Troy Deeney was up there and amongst a few. So yeah, great event. Happy birthday! But his birthday week is now fully over. And obviously after that was the Burnley game, and we are fully into football. Football nearly coming to end. We've got an international break coming up, so we're going to be covering the games that have gone by. Obviously the upcoming game at the weekend with Sunderland, and it could be quite an interesting weekend at the top of the table. You've got first v fourth and second v third. Challenging.
I thought we might start off with Slavia Prague.
We can indeed, Ella. We can indeed start off with Slavia Prague. I was just sort of giving the viewers a little bit of a synopsis about the whole show, where we're going, what we're going to do tonight, what's on offer, what's on the menu.
What is on the menu?
What is on the menu? So Listen, Ella, talk to me about last night. Arsenal went away. They went to the Czech Republic to face Slavia Prague in the Champions League after 3 games, 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. And then they went there and made it 4.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the start that Arsenal have had in the Champions League. I think we're going to have one of our biggest tests next. Well, it's actually next week, might be the week after, but our next game in the Champions League, obviously against Bayern Munich. But so we can only play what's in front of us at the moment.
Yeah.
And like you said, we've got 4 from 4 and 0 goals conceded in the Champions League this season. So I think ultimately it's the best start that we really could have had. I think when you look at the team, I was happy to see some people playing last night to be given some minutes. I think we've got to really focus in on, I think, one man that stole the show last night in Mikel Merino, because ultimately we've seen what he can do as at striker before, but when he's called upon in that position, he just seems to always turn up, and it's ridiculous because it's not his natural position. And as a matter of fact, he actually had never played striker before joining Arsenal, and I think he's played 17 games up front for Arsenal, and he's got 9 goals and 3 assists. So you actually really could argue, well, I know that's not his natural position, but is it his best position? Because I think we actually end up seeing more from him when he plays up front and sometimes when he plays in that kind of number 8 role. So I was really impressed with what I saw from him last night. And, losing Gyökeres is big, and I'm sure we're going to come on just to speak about some of that. But I think to step up, ultimately win us the game, take it over the line is huge.
Yeah, definitely. And great stat there. And 6 of those goals have come in 12 outings where he's been in the number 9 position, which is quite an awesome return for a player that essentially is bought as a midfielder. I remember when we bought him, there was the argument, is he a 6? Is he an 8? He's a CDM. It's still up until that Liverpool game, people were saying we played CDMs, but I'd say his more natural position would be as an 8 or as a false 9, and how he plays for Spain. And listen, this guy delivers the goods. That first goal was a number 9's finish. It was. It really
was. And do you know what I was thinking? I was like, with all due respect, I'm actually not sure Kai Havertz gets himself in the right position for that goal. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, and you're about to say, does Victor Gyökeres finish that, do you reckon?
Well, you'd hope so, but it is like you're saying, he did get himself in the right position at the right time, and he made it look like a really easy goal. But I'm just not sure whether the others get in that position.
Do you know what? For me, it was the finesse. It was the way he stroked it into the net. That's what I like. It was the jump. It was everything about the technique. I think there's a lot to be said for players when they score goals, and there's technique, there's silky smooth ability, and that's what I saw in him. And it was quite on a contrast to the second goal, which was like an old school flick on at the near post, but obviously it was in front of goal. The goalkeeper comes out for it. He's in no man's land, comes to cradle the ball, and the ball ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, and Marino's actually facing away from goal at that point, so he's looking in the wrong direction.
That's it. It's a flick on.
Somehow he manages to. Ultimately, it's a really difficult finish because you can't see where you want the ball to go. You're just kind of having to guess where the goal is and kind of a hit and hope. But the fact that he even managed to get the connection, and there was a lot of times last night where you see, whether it be David Raya or someone out from the back making the long pass, and he always gets up if it's like a one-on-one in a header and wins the ball. So his aerial presence is huge, and that is why Arteta loves him, and that is why Arteta trusts him to play in that position because of how good he is in the air. Yeah,
definitely. Speaking of David Raya, I thought we should club in and get him a deck chair. I'd only be fair.
Sit on the show if you want.
I know. Do you know what? You come
we should invite him on.
I invited him. I did actually invite him on one of the fan cams. He can come and sit with me at the Emirates in the 4th row and sit down and spectate and watch the game. I think it's been. Look, it looks like the guy's going to wrap the Golden Glove up obviously in the Premier League. I said this last night. I think he's had 10 clean sheets. He's had 10 clean sheets, hasn't he?
I trust your stats, Marty.
I hope my stats are correct. I believe they are. Yeah. No, sorry. It's 8. I think it's 8 clean sheets. No, 10 clean
I
sheets.
think it might be
is
more. Yeah, I think it could be 10.
No, sorry, it is 8. Sorry.
Is it?
So,
I thought it was more in the Premier League. How many games have he played?
So last season, right? Last season, he wrapped that up. That Golden Glove, I know, definitely with 13 clean sheets. So that is something else, and I think he's 5 away from that worst ways at the moment. I think he's 5 away.
I can't see anyone really challenging him for the Golden Glove because
And when you take into consideration, we are now ready to break a record. We've equalled the record that stood in 1903 for consecutive clean sheets. And that was set, I believe it was over the first games of the 1903-04 season and the last 3 games of the 2002-2003 season, which is pretty decent, to be fair.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the stat about David Raya from last night.
Go on.
Well, David Raya has now become the quickest Arsenal goalkeeper to 50 clean sheets.
Really?
It's 110 matches, and that comes after last night, after the clean sheet.
I didn't know that. He's got 50 clean sheets.
Yeah, 50 clean sheets and 110 games, which,
that's unbelievable,
let's be honest,
isn't it?
also is a reflection of the back four and how incredible they've been doing, because it makes his job really easy, to be honest with you. There's in the last like 6-7 games, he's barely had to make a save. So he might have the easiest job in football at the moment.
I think he has, but you know what? He does do a lot of stuff off the ball. There's a lot of distribution involved.
His distribution is top. That's why Arteta bought him.
And he does come out. He does catch a lot of balls. He commands his area. His distribution's fantastic, and he's everything you want in your goalkeeper. And obviously, listen, what he's got in front of him is quite something else. And obviously, the midfield in front of that and how they're operating at the minute, it's hard to see who is going to be the first team to actually score a goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, because it will happen eventually.
It's going to happen at some point in my lifetime. Arsenal will concede another goal.
Let's hope it's not soon. Spurs and Chelsea coming up. So you'd imagine potentially at some point in one of those.
I hate to say it. And I was thinking about this today. If anyone's going to do it, it will probably be Harry Kane. If that was going to happen, or it would end up being a Spurs player.
But I think Harry Kane is a good shout.
Harry Kane does like to score against Arsenal, and you know he is one of the best strikers in the world internationally. He's fantastic.
I have to also just quickly add from last night from Slavia Prague, because there were quite a lot of record-breaking moments that actually came from yesterday that maybe have gone under the radar, but. I have to speak about Max Dowman, who came on in the 72nd minute last night, and he obviously became the youngest player to ever play in the Champions League, which is really quite something. And, you know, if you're coming on at 15 years of age and making your Champions League debut, I think what we've ultimately seen this season, even in pre-season, is when Max Dowman got a fair couple of minutes, is ultimately Arteta obviously has a lot of trust in him and is seeing a lot of good things and is therefore repaying him with minutes in these big games in the Premier League and the Champions League and all competitions this season. But I thought that was obviously a huge moment, because a 15-year-old becoming the youngest ever in the Champions League is a massive, massive statement. And now actually, as a club, Arsenal have got the youngest ever Champions League player and the youngest ever Premier League player, which was Ethan Nwaneri. So we're breaking records, and you know our academy is producing very nicely at the moment, I would say.
It was nice to see Harriman Anous be introduced as well later on in the game. I thought Arteta got that spot on when he hooked Declan Rice and brought Harriman Anous, and then he switched Mikel Merino into midfield.
Well, I was surprised that Rice didn't come off sooner, because if he would have got booked last night, then he would have missed Bayern Munich, which is absolutely the last thing we need, isn't it?
And speaking on that, let's go to the referee quickly, because that referee for me was pretty card happy last night. Miles Lewis-Skelly picks up a booking, and there were a few. I think we had 5 yellow cards, I believe it was, that were dished out in that game. A couple of them were deserved. I think he was interesting where he gave he didn't give the penalty and then gave the penalty, and then he gave the penalty and then it got rescinded from VAR. And I like to see the correct usage of VAR, which we saw last night.
Yeah, I actually thought the referee had quite a good game.
Did you?
Maybe we were watching different games, but
I was watching the one with the sound off.
Maybe this is selective memory, because obviously, we got the penalty overturned that he initially gave to Slavia Prague, and then we also got a penalty in the first half. So those were both good moments. But I think the referee had a pretty good game in general. I think their penalty, I was actually very surprised when I saw the replay to see that the referee had given that on the pitch. But ultimately, VAR is
which one?
Forced, the second one, the Slavia Prague attacker.
What, the Ben White?
Yeah, because I mean, it came off his own hand, and Ben White made the connection on the ball.
I know.
That then pushed it onto his hand. So it can't be in any world a penalty. But that, like I said, obviously VAR intervenes at the right time, and the referee saw very quickly that it was never a penalty. So I actually think he got both of those decisions right in the end.
Okay, listen, he did in the end when he referred to VAR, and like I said, that's what I think. The first one for me, that was I don't know what the player was doing, going up with his hand there.
Yeah,
it's just a completely unnatural position, and you're just asking for trouble.
I agree. Obviously, it's quite difficult when the player's in that moment, because they have to now be really thinking about the arm position. Like, you see the players with their hands behind their back when they're like, sliding in for something or going for something, because they know if there's that connection with the arm, then it's going to be given as a penalty. But you think about it, and it's not a harsh decision, but it's just harsh because in football, obviously, everything happens very quickly. And for the player to have to really be consciously thinking about, he didn't intend for it to hit his hand, but of course it was in an unnatural position, and it's slightly unfortunate, but the rules are the rules, and I think
the rules are the rues. So
yeah, the game's the game.
I know it is indeed. It's game two halves. So Ella, talk to me about Piero the Butcher Hincapié.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game last night. I think what we've seen a lot this season is a lot of defensive signings coming in quite seamlessly. Yeah. I could say the same for Mosquera as well, who I think every time I see him play, he just looks like he's been there forever. And I think it's obviously important that Hincapié gets minutes, because that's how he's going to become more comfortable in the system. But yeah, I thought he had a really good game. I don't think there was anything notable that he did wrong. I think obviously it was only really the first maybe 10 minutes or so where Slavia Prague were going at us, and there was a couple moments. Yeah. But other than that, it was a very controlled Arsenal performance. So I think everyone did exceptionally well, particularly for people that haven't really played for Arsenal before.
Do you know what I want to big up? Is Marty from Slavia Prague. I've done a box-to-box of him on AFTV, which got released it got released on Monday, tell a lie. And what a lovely guy he was. He used to live in London, Slavia Prague fan, obviously, and very knowledgeable, as you'd expect, and gave some absolutely fantastic insight about Slavia Prague, the fans, and they were actually voted by FIFA to be the best, most orchestrated fans. And he was running us through this, how it's almost, well, it is sort of rehearsed, how you have it's a conductor with a megaphone standing in front of all of the fans. Because I said to him, look, one thing that I find really interesting, Matty, was, how do you all know what song to sing and when? I said, it's almost like you go beforehand, for a week and rehearse all the songs, and you've got like a hymn sheet to sing from, and you belt out, all the greatest hits. And they literally, after that, he said, a guy stands there with the megaphone, and he conducts us through the whole game, and we sing. And it's funny because at the Emirates, if you stand up, you get told off, but there, if you sit down, you get told off. And if you saw the tifo that they had, and there was a time they held up all the bits of plastic to form this massive what's the word, like mosaic style football banner across the whole stand, and it was absolutely
like an entire stand tifo, basically.
Oh yeah, there you go, that's it. And it was absolutely phenomenal. And that stadium as well, it was only, I think it holds 19,322 off the top of my head, from memory. I do know it because I did research it obviously when I did box to box. And the noise and the sound, and they were literally bouncing for the whole game. And what I love about these fans is at 3-0 down, they are still supporting their team. They're still there going. And you just think, if that was the Emirates, everyone would be out the door. Everyone would be out the door. There'd be 10,000 people in there if you're lucky.
But you know what? I think they're just enjoying being in the Champions League. I think a lot of them will love the fact that they're getting to play a team like Arsenal at home. Like, it's a big occasion, and they just got to really enjoy it, regardless of the score.
Do you know how much a season ticket for Slavia Prague is per season?
I don't, but it's definitely a lot less than the Emirates.
It certainly is. It's €300, which I believe equates to about 270 Great British pounds.
Wow.
So wherever you're watching it from around the world, €300, he said. And obviously they have their own currency, which I unfortunately can't remember the name of it. But yeah, I mean, for an entire season, obviously all their cup games included. And he did also say that Arsenal was one of the most followed teams locally. So obviously the demand for tickets for that, it shows what a huge club Arsenal are around the world, and how well supported and followed they are. And there was huge respect, and any team, I'm a firm believer that any team earns the right to get into the Champions League, that is in the Champions League, has earned their right. And they've had a few indifferent results recently. They had a good win 2-0 at the weekend, but before that they'd had 3 games that are 0-0. But listen, they gave a really good showing for the first 20 minutes, I believe, and they tried to give it a good go. But I think at half time, when you're 1-0 down to Arsenal, this current Arsenal team, and especially when the second goal goes in straight after half time. Last time we conceded 3 goals was over 100 games ago against Luton. So, no disrespect to any team, to come back and think you're going to come back and put 3 goals in the back of our net within 40 minutes is probably not going to happen. Maybe 2, potentially 1.
I'd say good luck to you, to be honest.
I certainly would too. Bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what's making me feel confident despite a tricky run coming up, is like literally good luck scoring. Good luck, because we haven't really seen anything that's would lead us to feel any type of concern. Obviously, like you said, we're gonna concede a goal at some point, of course, but it is difficult right now to imagine us conceding like 2-3 goals. So, it still obviously gives you a good chance. It gives you a really good chance. And I think that's why we look at these couple of games and we're like, listen, even if we do concede maybe 1, maybe 2 goals, we still have enough that we can win or, get something from those games. So. And
the maddest thing about it is as well, Ella, is you look at, and this, I don't say this with any disrespect to any other teams, but this is one thing that I've looked at throughout many games recently. You look at the Liverpools, you look at Chelsea, you look at Manchester United, and a lot of these teams are conceding in one match what we've conceded in an entire season. And it sounds like, do you know what, when I say these things, I start to sound like a broken record, because we haven't conceded a goal since, do you know when?
No, but it's definitely been, like 7 games or something?
No. Do you know what month?
Well, the last goal we conceded was...
Do you know who it was?
Newcastle, wasn't it?
It was. Voltemada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Voltemada in September.
But listen, whenever we, are on a watch long,
it's November
for predictions, it's very difficult to not predict a clean sheet.
Yeah.
It's very
I know.
difficult.
Well, you got this. Have you seen this new thing that Robbie's in William Hill, Last Man Standing?
Yeah.
It's a 50k pot. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of people that are going to pick Arsenal for their first team, I believe, with it, you pick one team. And the next week you can't pick the same team, so you've got all the team. You know, you can go through all the teams, and basically you're the last one standing. If Robbie goes out, the 50k pot is split.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
But I mean, Arsenal at the weekend, it's definitely not
So
the easiest of games.
we're coming on to that Sunderland. You want to talk about Sunderland?
I would love to talk about.
You want to dive straight into it? The Stadium of Light.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean,
let's go.
Let's be honest. Sunderland are not a team that you would have predicted to be in this position. This season, I think what they've done is remarkable, and I think a lot of that comes from their approach in the summer transfer window at the end of last season. They spent big and they invested in the team, and ultimately, I think that's exactly what you've got to do if you really have a good chance of staying up in the Premier League, because for the last couple of seasons we've seen the 3 promoted go straight back down, and I think this year we might see a bit of a break in the cycle, where I think there are definitely one or two of those promoted that definitely have a good chance of staying up. And we've seen Sunderland are actually unbeaten at home this season. They haven't lost a game at home, so it is a big ask.
1-5, drawn 3, lost 2. The Black Cats, the Stadium of Light. And do you know what I love about Sunderland, right? And I'm gonna give them their kudos, right? It's obviously, for me, Sunderland have always been sort of a Premier League team, and then obviously their downfall, which was, if I'm honest with you, sad to see. They built the Stadium of Light. I believe they played at Roker Park before they built the Stadium of Light. Fantastic stadium, new age stadium, concourse style stadium, holds 50,000+ fans. And then they fell through the Championship, League One, and I believe they might have gone into League Two. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
But I saw a Netflix I saw a Netflix documentary, and obviously, basically, them rebuilding from this Premier League team that they were always a really tough team to play. Going up there, you know, it's like, you know, people joke about that cold, wet night in Stoke, you know, going to Stoke on a Wednesday night. I think it's very similar with Sunderland. I remember years ago, like, I remember, look, especially in the Wenger days, some really, really tough games there. I remember one in particular where Abu Diaby got a really nasty tackle. You literally, it was in the 93rd minute, and you heard the yelp. It was a yelp, a scream. And that injury really cost him throughout his career. And you know, Sunderland have they've fought their way back from obscurity and battled back into being a Premier League team. I think they won it through the playoffs last season. And they had Joe Bellingham as well, who was a key player in their side, got rid of. I thought they would struggle. They've brought in Granit Xhaka, our old boy, who is an absolute gangster in the midfield, commanding general, just orders, organises, and lets people know exactly what they should be doing while sticking the boot in, distributing the ball, scoring goals, popping up for fun. Scored one against Everton at the weekend. On Monday night it was. What a player he is, and fair play to him, because I heard that when obviously the Sunderland project came about, he wanted to go there, and that was his choice, and he's gone there. And this is, I believe they've bought 14 players this season, and they are 4th in the league with 18 points, and they just beat Chelsea, and that was a smash and grab, 1-1. Chelsea camped out in their goal at the end of the game, and then they go down the other end and beat them 2-1. Oh, it was brilliant. The meltdowns in the Chelsea fan base were phenomenal.
I bet beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge is a real statement of intent this season, because getting some good results at home is still great, but Chelsea away is a tough fixture. And I just think the mentality that Sunderland had when they went there shows that they really, really mean business this season. And I think you're absolutely right to single out Granit Xhaka, because I think if Sunderland stay up this season, which they 100% should at this point, because there are definitely 3 teams that are more likely to go down, then I think Granit Xhaka will be one of the signings of the summer, if not the signing of the summer, because it's not just a player on the pitch, which ultimately we know is top. It's also just the leadership and what he offers off the pitch as well. I think we saw some of the best years of Granit Xhaka in the latter years that he was at Arsenal. And almost at that point, I really didn't want him to go, to be honest with you. And I thought that it would be a really big loss because he really stepped it up in the last couple of seasons he was with us. So I think it's an amazing signing. And I'm really glad that he is back in the Premier League, because I think this is where he belongs. And I think, listen, Sunderland away on paper before the season is not a game you look at and think 3 points 100% like guaranteed.
You
think that before
it's a game. It's a challenge.
But now you look at it and it's definitely not a guaranteed 3 points. We need to play really well.
They're tough places to go. They're these fans, that they support their teams. Passionately. They are tough places, a big stadium, 50,000 seater. And, they're grateful to be in the Premier League. And, I think it's fair to say Arsenal come into town for any team. Who doesn't want to watch Arsenal this season? I don't say that arrogantly. I don't say that as, listen, we're beating teams. I believe this is a special time to watch Arsenal. A lot of my enjoyment for watching Arsenal this season, listen, the football hasn't been, if I'm honest with you, the finest at points. It's been quite, let's say, scrappy. It's been very controlled. It's been quite, I say, boring. We've got the job done. And it reminds me, and I've said this numerous times, it reminds me of George Graham when he took over in 86. And, what he wanted to do is assemble, first and foremost, a solid back four. And he did that. He brought Tony Adams through the youth system. And then he brought Steve Bold and Lee Dixon from Stoke. Nigel Winterburn from Wimbledon, who at the time, the Crazy Gang, they were a tough outfit. No nonsense, absolutely wild. And obviously built a midfield and then bought an attacking, brought Alan Smith from Leicester and made some additions. And then he even swapped out John Lukage for David Seaman, which is very similar to swapping out Ramsdale from Raya. And it kind of echoes for me very much what Mikel Arteta's doing at the moment. He's built this solid base in his back four with Saliba, Gabriel. He put Saliba out on loan, young players, and we're seeing the best of them now. And he plays with 4 centre-backs in Calafiori and Timber. Timber played for Ajax at centre-back, Calafiori for his national team.
I think Timber plays at centre-back for the Netherlands still.
Yeah, Timber. Listen, he's a right-back for Arsenal and, plays at right back. He is a centre-back like Calafiori. But we're playing essentially with these big, scary dudes at the back, which you don't really want to take on. And then in front of it, you've got arguably one of the best midfielders in Declan Rice. I saw something actually on TalkSport today where Simon Jordan was bad-mouthing Declan Rice and saying, can he hit a free kick? Absolutely. So can Ward Prowse. I wonder how much he'd stand out in a very poor side. And I thought it was a bit of a low blow. I think I really like Simon Jordan, actually, in the way that I think he's very good with his vocabulary. He's a very good show host, and he gets his points across, and his use of the English language is absolutely fantastic. But I think on that one, he's got it very, very wrong in the way, for me, Declan Rice is an absolute game changer, a standout performer. Watching him against Burnley, the way that guy broke up play, distributed the ball, tackled, held the ball up, made little passes, and also runs steaming into the box and sticks the ball in the back of the net with his head. At times, this guy is unplayable, and this guy is another midfielder who can play in the 6. He can play in the 8. Arguably, his best position is in the 8. That's where he plays for Arsenal. And he, at £100 million, he can do it all. He can play the ball. He can hit corners. He can hit free kicks. And another part of what Simon Jordan said was, yes, so he should be able to deliver free kicks and put them on the money. So he should be able to, and it's like, but because other players don't do it, it's looked at as something special. But the reality is if you actually look at, let's break that down. Let's look at Declan Rice's delivery. That when he hits these balls in, the dip, the curve, and the spin on them, and how these balls find the exact position they need to go time and time again. You see plenty of players. I remember I saw Eze do it against Manchester City. It's similar to that. The way he chops that ball over the entire midfield and lays it on a sixpence to Martinelli. All Martinelli's got to do is take a touch, bang, back of the net. That's what you need from your players, that level of ability to drop it in the exact area that you need it dropped into. And that's what I see Declan Rice, and he leaves it all on the pitch. That's why you can see he gives it his all. There's not a blade of grass that he doesn't cover, not unnecessarily, and he sticks it all down.
Yeah, I saw a part of that clip that was posted on Instagram by TalkSport. I just think it's the most ridiculous thing that anyone could say at the moment, because he is objectively one of the best players in the Premier League, and that's not. I'm not just saying that because I'm an Arsenal fan. It's an objective fact when you look at statistics and you look at how good he actually is on a football pitch. And the only possible reason I could think as to why he would say that is that he just doesn't watch Declan Rice play, because anyone that watches Arsenal and that watches him play knows that could not be further from the truth. It's a ridiculous comment. I don't know whether he's doing it for a couple clicks or something. I don't understand. It's Simon Jordan knows about football, so for him to be talking about Declan Rice like that, also an England international that has proved it for England as well, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. He has been one of our standouts this season. He's been unbelievably consistent, and you talk about a set piece as well. Of course, his game isn't just limited to set pieces, but there's a level of consistency he is showing that makes it impossible to make statements like that. I'm pretty sure he was on with I think it was Jeff Stelling, if I'm correct. And Jeff looked at him and was like, what
are you saying
about? Because no one could possibly agree with that statement.
It's wild. The only thing I can think, it must be some sort of clickbait, because for me Simon Jordan is he's a very knowledgeable guy, a guy that's owned football clubs, he's owned outside of football, he's owned multiple businesses. He owned he was one of the pioneers of mobile phone distribution originally in the country. It was like Carphone Warehouse, and then he went on to obviously own Crystal Palace to buy that, and then times in the end didn't work out, and I think he's one of the most coveted pundits and journalists in football. But I think he must have had a bit of an interesting morning to say something like that, because then it leads me into the debate of Caicedo. People say, there's this argument of, is Caicedo better than Rice?
I hate this. I literally hate this.
Go on, talk to me. Why do you hate this, Ella? Come on. Let's go into this now.
I'll tell you why I hate this narrative, because people are trying to create something that is completely unnecessary by comparing two midfield players that don't actually play in the same position. Well, you're not going to compare Harry Kane to Bukayo Saka, are you? Because one of them plays at striker and one of them plays at right wing. But yes, they're both attacking players. So why I don't know why people feel the need to pit both of them against each other when they actually play in completely different positions on a football pitch. I understand that people are talking about Declan Rice versus Caicedo because Rice played in the six predominantly for West Ham, but since he's joined Arsenal, he hasn't really been a number six. That hasn't really been his role, so it just feels a bit unnecessary to me.
Okay, so would it be fair to say then, Ella, it would be more of a comparison between Caicedo and Zubimendi?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, talk to me on that.
And if we're having that, I think
we're going to have that. We're having that conversation.
Caicedo's been probably the best six in the Premier League this season.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Who do you take? Who do you take? Caicedo. Listen, You can have it at Arsenal. You can either have Caicedo or you can have Zubimendi.
I think Caicedo's been better than Zubimendi this season. He's been really well.
He has been good. He has been good. Do you know what? Can I just say quickly against Tottenham? Tottenham are diabolical against Chelsea. That was boring football. Caicedo for that goal. He wins the ball and he passes it. And I can't remember to which Chelsea player, but the Chelsea player loses it. So Caicedo goes, "Hang on, mate." So he goes and wins the ball back, and then goes sorts it out for him. And that is Caicedo's everywhere. Again, another midfielder who covers every blade of grass, and is, he has played out of his skin. But if I'm honest with you, sometimes can be slightly. I think this Chelsea team, it's a very good team, but it's a young team. It's inconsistent. They need a goalkeeper. They need to sort out their centre-back pairing. They've got two good wing-backs in Cucurella and Reece James, or right and left-backs. I don't believe they're as good as ours, but they're the spine of their team. I mean, that midfield, when they've got Caicedo, Enzo and Palmer in it, listen, is a decent midfielder. Just for me, can be a bit inconsistent sometimes. They definitely need to sort their goalkeeper situation out, and they need a decent centre back. I think if they're really going to challenge for the title.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've definitely got a few components missing. Just quickly before we move on to some of the other segments that
have we got a super chat?
No, we haven't got.
Oh, I thought he was going to bring up a super chat, Ella.
No, but guys, make sure to send super chats in, and me and Marty will read them out. But I just wanted to highlight quickly: Chelsea at full time, Karabag 2, Chelsea 2.
What?
Yeah, in the Champions League.
Are you serious?
Today. So points dropped for Chelsea away to Karabag.
So Ella, this is my point as well, right? And this, I don't say this. I'm not being out of order. I'm just stating factually. So you're telling me tonight Chelsea have conceded 2 goals against Karabag, not the best Champions League team, right?
Yeah.
And we've conceded 3 all season. That's,
of course, but you look at the back four difference.
Yeah. But then also your midfield's protecting your back four.
True, but Caicedo was not actually playing.
Oh, was he not?
He did come on. He did come on, but he didn't start. I don't know what minute he came on, but he didn't start.
That's the thing that I'm looking at, is these teams are conceding that amount of goals in one game, and we have conceded 3 all season. It's something else. It really is.
Yeah.
So Ella, what are we going to go on to? Are we going to go on to Hero of the Week, Howler of the Week, or are we going to talk about City and Liverpool?
Let's do
City. And goal of the week.
Listen,
what are we going into? I'm excited about this.
We've got so much and not enough time.
No, there's time. It's which way round you want to do it.
I think let's quickly do City Liverpool, and then we can.
Okay, cool. So we do City Liverpool. We're going to City Liverpool, and then we will go through.
We can quickly cover that game.
The weekly sections. Cool. Okay, cool. City Liverpool at the Etihad, Super Sunday. What are you saying?
I'm saying I'm praying for a draw.
Do you know what? That would be a great result, wouldn't it?
At the very least, it would be a great. It would be an unbelievable result if we can go to Sunderland and get 3 points, and City could get a draw from the Liverpool game. Then it means we're eight points clear at the top, which I know it's very early on still, but is definitely a nice looking lead. And I am particularly looking at the next couple of fixtures, and it just feels like a bit of a safety net. Even if we were to have one slip up per se. So I'd absolutely love a draw, but Liverpool are coming into this actually regaining some sort of form, with a 2-0 win against Villa in the Premier League, and then a 1-0 win against Real Madrid last night in the Champions League, which, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people didn't predict them to beat Real Madrid last night, but this Real Madrid side looked miles off it, Marty. I don't know if you watched.
I did. You know what? I did actually. I watched it in the studio after we'd finished the watch along and doing a full of fan cams, and Real Madrid didn't look good. And I'll tell you what, Trent, he looked like he was going to cry.
Well, to be fair, he didn't get a lovely reception, so I mean, it wasn't very nice.
They defaced the mural, El Ratos or whatever they put on it, and then they've gone in on the guy. And he's a young lad, and me personally, would I have left Liverpool Football Club if I was born and bred it? No, I wouldn't have left them. I don't know.
You only get one career to play for Real Madrid, one
Playing
of the
for
best
Liverpool
European clubs of all time.
no, yeah, come on, man.
Who's more likely to win the Champions League?
Honestly. Sorry to interrupt. If
No.
Arsenal, if I played for Arsenal, right, mate, I'd stay at Arsenal. I wouldn't move.
Yeah, but he has dedicated a lot of his early career, like years and years and years, to Liverpool. I don't think you can blame him for wanting to move to Real Madrid.
I can, because do you know what? For me personally, where I think Trent Alexander got it wrong, if he had stayed at Liverpool for all his career, right, he would have definitely won more trophies and more cups. That's a fact. You're at Liverpool Football Club, one of the biggest football clubs in the world, right? You're going to win stuff, right? That is the sort. If he spent the rest of his career there, do understand, he would have a statue outside that ground when he retires. If he retired at that club, from playing there from their youth system all the way through the first team, winning Champions League, Premier Leagues, all of that, he would have ended up having and he stayed there till he retired. He would have ended up having a statue, and he would have been part of Liverpool Football Club's furniture. So they do like the meet and greets on match day and stuff like that. I mean, listen, it might have been, he could have been a coach there, could have, what I'm saying is, I think he's cut his ties with Liverpool Football Club to a certain extent, and that's not something, especially if you're a Liverpool boy. I couldn't imagine cutting ties with Arsenal to go to. Listen, I respect Real Madrid; they're a huge club in world football. Like, this Real Madrid, I get it, but your club's your club, man. Like, if you support your team, like, you're telling me you ain't earned enough money and had enough accolades through playing at Liverpool. I mean, Bukayo Saka wants to stay at Arsenal. He ain't really won anything. He's won an FA Cup. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear you, but I think it is a bit harsh. But I do really understand. I do understand your point. I do, because particularly when you compare it to someone like Bukayo Saka and
yeah.
I'd be gutted. I'd be absolutely gutted if he left, but I would not. I wouldn't boo him back on a pitch ever. Even though he hasn't really won anything major at Arsenal, I would never boo him back on a pitch, even if he decided to leave tomorrow. So for me, I just think it's really harsh the way he's been treated, because there are multiple players that want to play across Europe, want to get to experience other leagues, which, let's be honest, not that many players can say that they're like a one-man club or whatever it is. But, I think having the desire to want to play across Europe is completely reasonable, if I'm being honest. But I really understand your point.
I just think the way he went around it as well. I think he knew all along that he was going to be going there, and his forms. He probably thought last night that he was going to be playing, and he wasn't. His starting position, I can't remember, Valverde plays instead of him, and the makeshift right back, and then he comes on. And it was that the Real Madrid manager sticking it to him, because I think if he starts, he doesn't get that reception. But when you come on as a sub throughout a game, it's like when you get taken off as a sub. Like if it's your last game, they take you off as a sub so you can soak up the atmosphere. They'll take you off with two minutes to go so you can soak up and you can get the round of applause. It's like almost that the manager stuck him on so that he can feel the pain. Do you see what I'm saying? It is brutal, the torture of it all. And I feel he's let his boy town, his boyhood club down. I really do, Ella, if I'm honest with you. I feel he's let him down a little bit in his movements. We've seen it with Isak. Not that even Isak, that wasn't his boyhood club. He's moved to Liverpool. How he's gone about his business, and I think he's getting his just desserts right about now. If I'm honest with you, there's ways and means of doing things, and there's ways of conducting yourself. It was like Thierry Henry did it at Arsenal, and the reason why he got welcomed back, because he did it with honour and valour, and he showed huge respect to Arsenal. And there's two different. You can have essentially the same thing, but do it in two different actions, and it means two completely different things. So, Ella, is it time?
Should we move on to something more positive?
Sorry.
Should we move on to something more positive?
Come on, let's do it. So, let's move on to Hero of the Week, Ella. Let's do this.
Yes. Marty, do you want to hit us off with your Hero of the Week first?
No, Ella, I want you to do your hero of the week because ladies first, and I'm kind of like that.
Very good manners, thank you.
Thank you.
If you insist,
I do insist. Yes.
All right. Well, I've gone for main man last night for Arsenal. I've gone for Mikel Merino. I know we've already spoken quite a lot about him, so I'll just echo some of what I have already said. But I just think he really deserves his flowers, and I think he quite possibly could be one of the most underrated signings under Mikel Arteta. When you think about it, he is exactly what you want in a squad player, and we bought him for around 30 million quid. And he's an established Spain international. I just think he's absolutely quality. And to step up last night, again, up front and get 2 goals is really impressive. Like we said, this is not the first time he's done it up front. And I think he's just so adaptable. I think he really wants to prove himself in an Arsenal shirt. And I love that. Like, you can see he's super driven. And when he gets given a chance, he absolutely takes it. And so I just think he deserves a lot of credit.
I think it's a great shout, Ella. I rate Mikel Merino. I really do. He's taken quite a bit of grief from Arsenal fans. Oh, he's like a bit of cardboard and all that sort of.
Yeah, I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why. I don't think he does any of that.
I think there's a lot of projection around Mikel Merino because there's a lot of frustration in the Arsenal fan base. People want to win things, and there's just targets out there. It's just people,
yeah.
And I get it. I get it. But listen, this guy. Do your talking on the pitch. Get it done.
Absolutely.
And he's doing it.
Absolutely. Marty, go on. Take us on. You've gone for someone different, haven't you?
I have gone for someone different. So my hero of the week this week is not your traditional hero of the week because they've done something heroic in football. It's more something personally. So I was fortunate enough to meet the main man himself. One of my favourite players currently in football, full stop. An Arsenal player, Big Eberici Eze. I met him.
Marty, I'm going to quickly try and get a picture of this up, but keep talking about it, and then I'm going to try and...
I thought this was sorted.
What?
Ella, why? My moment. It's just vanished.
I forgot that you wanted me to get the screenshot. I'm going to get it up. I'm going to get it up.
You get your Mikel Merino. You get your Mikel. By the time it will go up, the show would have been finished, and I'll be tucked up in bed.
No. Do your thing. I'm gonna get
go
it up.
for it. So look, I had the fortune of meeting Eberici Eze. What an absolutely lovely, humble guy he was. He's just a good-natured soul, a really good human being. He had a good vibe about him, a great spirit. He was just really welcoming, really friendly. Happy, he's just smiling and just very accommodating. Can't fault him. And obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I've in my life I've been fortunate enough to meet a variety of players and ex-professionals and ex-players, etc. People in the public eye. Some of them, majority of people you meet are fantastic, accommodating, very nice, or nice to have a chat to and. But then also there are some that aren't and then can be quite standoffish and if I've had people you've asked them for a picture and but listen, Eberici Eze was absolutely phenomenal, really nice, absolute gentleman, and it was great. It made my week, to be honest. And obviously with the whole transfer thing, I kind of knew he was going to Arsenal and it was quite surreal with that. And then actually meeting him and getting to spend some brief time with him, it was fantastic. So that is why he is my hero of the week.
Marty, we're going to have to revisit this point next week.
Are you actually serious, Ola?
We're gonna We're gonna revisit this, and then we're gonna make sure you get your actual moment.
Wow!
Comes. We're gonna make sure.
Oh, Ella, you've. I thought you. Where's the pre-match work?
Don't put it all on me.
Oh no, I'm putting it on. This was your department, Ella.
Listen, you'll get your moment, Marty. I promise you. Next week we'll visit it and we'll get the picture up to prove, guys, Marty is telling the truth. I know it's all an elaborate lie. It's not. It is true. There is picture proof. So we're going to get it up for next week's show.
It's all an elaborate lie. No, look, it was
telling the
fantastic. Yeah, no, it was good. Check it. All right, I'll tell you what. Check it out my Instagram.
Yeah, do a cheeky plug.
What do you mean cheeky plug on my?
Well,
Marty Ovens one. Check my Instagram out. It's on there. Me and Eberici Eze. It was it was fantastic.
I can't lie, Marty. I was very jealous when I saw it.
I know.
Very jealous.
I know you were straight away. It's like, oh, where can I meet him?
How have you done that?
How have you done it? I had some messages, believe you me, about that. But
absolutely.
anyway, moving on to the howler of the week. Ella, go for it.
Well, we've got a bit of a joint howler of the week, which doesn't usually happen, Marty. But I think this week it could really only be one thing, I think, when you're looking to the next couple of fixtures, and that is Arsenal's attacking injury. So I feel like we've come to a bit of an agreement on that, Marty. Ultimately, if you have a look at the graphic, there's a significant amount of attacking. There's about 6 attacking players out at the moment, and
7.
no, because there's Zubimendi.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Is he actually got a knock?
He has got some knock, but hopefully it's nothing of serious concern. But obviously after Gyökeres was subbed off at half time against Burnley, the list is ever growing. And we've obviously had to stick Mikel Merino back up front last night, and we're not going to have that many attacking options on the bench this weekend, I don't think. But I know there is a lot of talk around Havertz and Madueke potentially being back after the international break in time for Spurs. So let's cross our fingers. And obviously with Martinelli and Gyökeres, I think I'm not exactly 100% sure on the situation, but I think there is also hope for them being back as well in time. So we could be we'll be seeing a lot of those players coming back hopefully over the next coming weeks. But when you look at it, you're like, wow, we got the majority of our attacking players sat out injured, which is not ideal, is it, Marty?
It's not, but luckily enough, we have got our number 9, Mikel Merino, and Leandro Trossard.
Exactly, and Bukayo Saka. We've got still some attacking options, but
what a player Leandro Trossard is.
Yeah, I think he's. We spoke after the Burnley game, and we said that probably could be his best performance of the season, and I think we're really starting to see him step up a little bit. So long may that continue.
So Ella, goal of the week. I can't believe you're doing this to me. Just do goal of the week and get this over and done with. I don't even want to hear about this. Like, this is probably when you said this earlier, and I was like, "Are you actually serious? Can we actually talk about this team on this show?" I was like,
it's borderline criminal behaviour. It is borderline.
It is. I mean, someone should get arrested for this. But
yeah.
I mean, listen, fair play. It was an absolutely fantastic goal, honestly. But I can't believe we're allowing this on this show. This has taken new turns to different stratospheres, different galaxies that I didn't even know existed. So I'm going to let you roll this one.
You're just leaving the dirty work.
Yeah, I'm leaving you to do the dirty work. Go for it. You were the one that pulled it up. And I was like, no, there's got to be another goal. There has to be another one. I'm not having this. And he was like, no, it's the best goal this week. Someone even said, I spoke to someone about it earlier, and they said it could be a Puskás Award. And I was like, no.
Well, ultimately, this segment is goal of the week. So I've really got to try and be as objective as I can whilst wearing a beautiful Arsenal shirt. And ultimately, there was one goal that was simply better than all the others over the last week. And it pains me to say it, no more than you, Marty, I'm sure. But Van de Ven yesterday in the Champions League was an absolute blinder of a goal. And I'm not saying that with a smile on my face at all.
I think you are, Ella.
No, I'm not smiling. For anyone that I'm not smiling right now. But, Van de Ven took it from the edge of his box and he dribbled the ball the entire length of the pitch and then put it in the back of the net. And in order to do that, you have to give some credit. As much as I absolutely despise Tottenham, there's not many defenders that I've ever seen score a goal like that. How many times do you see a defender run the entire length of the pitch, basically?
Look, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, Ella. It was us. I watched it, and he picks the ball up outside his box and just drives. It was like the big boy at school. You know, when you're playing football, like the best guy in the whole school at football, taking on the youngest kids in the school, and just absolutely rattling past them, brushing them aside. And then at the end, he completely outpaces that guy with the ball and just rams it into the bottom corner and wheels off and celebrates. And I mean, look, the place went mad, and it's just obviously because it's them lot, but it was an absolutely fantastic goal. I hate to say it, and credit where credit's due. The way he steamed down that pitch, and when you watch
the finish as well,
when you watch it in slow motion, but the footwork on it as well, the footwork on Van der Ven. When you watch it and you slow it down, how he moves the ball around as he's running at pace was something else. So listen, fair play.
Let's spend no more time on it.
Let's move on from that one.
Done.
Let's get out of there, done and dusted. So and quite happily, that brings us to the end of the show. Let's get a quick score prediction from you, Ella, for the game at the weekend. Sunderland versus Arsenal, 5:30 live. We'll have a host. We'll be having a watch along in the studio on AFTV. Ella, I believe you'll be there.
I will be there.
Yeah.
Marty,
so for the,
I believe you'll be there.
I will be there. Yeah.
Good.
The starting 11 show, and I will be there for the watch along. Definitely. Absolutely.
Score prediction? Did you say?
Yeah, score prediction.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go for a bit of a 1-0 Arsenal. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna potentially be tight. I think we will win. Listen, I'll be very happy with a 1-0 Arsenal, if I'm being quite honest with you.
Yeah.
What about you? Slightly.
Listen, 1-0. And I think for me as well, I'd love to see us 9 clean sheets. I believe that will be the English record.
Yes, it will be.
Of clean sheets. It's something else.
If we beat them and win, we'll become the first English top flight club to win 9 consecutive games without conceding. So
really,
it would be lovely.
That is something else. That really is something else. And listen, can we do it? Of course we can. I believe in the team, and it's going to be fantastic. As I said, we will be on a watch along. Please check out all of AFTV's content regarding that game. Forever Arsenal, if you haven't already, please catch that up with Robbie, Lee Judges, Curtis and Jack. An absolutely awesome show. You'll be able to catch me on the Invincibles podcast, which will be getting released, I believe, tomorrow evening. Also, I will be doing a box-to-box with a Sunderland fan, detailing, aligning Sunderland, their style of play, the team that they should be setting up against, and what the Stadium of Light is like. So anyone, please check out and catch up with that content. And also,
we'll be back next week, of course.
We will. Listen, we will be back next week, won't we? On the international break. So the Martiella show, or as I've also heard, quite a call for the Martinella show.
Yeah.
So that will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And like I said, please also check out the AFTV app. You can select your team for the game for Arsenal when we are playing Sunderland and submit that to AFTV, and for a chance that gets shown on the socials. Also, it's got some fantastic podcasts, videos, etc. on there. Listen, Ella, you have been absolutely fantastic tonight. Thank you very much for being here with me, and everyone.
You've been an excellent host, as usual, as you always do.
Thank you. I do try. It's been absolutely awesome. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate the love. Really appreciate the positive comments and everything that you are giving us. So please check out all the other AFTV content. I've been Marty. This has been Ella. This has been AFTV Live, the Marty Yella Show, live on a Wednesday. Marty signing out.
GFN Soccer TV, with all your favourite shows in one place, is now live in the UK with Samsung TV Plus.